In a landmark decision that's sending shockwaves through the American healthcare system, a federal judge has just blocked Trump's controversial executive order on transgender healthcare. This isn't just another courtroom battle, it's a pivotal moment in the ongoing struggle for transgender rights in America. Picture this. It's March 2025, and U.S. District Court Judge Lauren King, sitting in her Seattle courthouse, has just delivered a ruling that's protecting thousands of transgender youth across 4 states. Washington, Oregon, Minnesota, and Colorado, these states stood up against what many called an unconstitutional overreach of presidential power. Let's break down what actually happened. Trump's executive order was attempting to cut off federal funding from any hospital or clinic providing gender affirming care to people under 19. Think about that. Hospitals would have had to choose between helping transgender youth or keeping their federal funding. It's the kind of decision no medical professional should have to make. But here's where it gets interesting. 3 anonymous doctors, later joined by others from Colorado, decided they weren't going to let this slide. They argued that this order wasn't just harmful, it was unconstitutional. They pointed to both the Fifth and 10th Amendments, saying the president can't just override Congress's spending decisions or dictate healthcare policy to individual states. The impact of this ruling is massive. In Washington state alone, countless medical professionals can now continue providing essential care without fear of losing funding. One doctor, who chose to remain anonymous, admitted to crying tears of joy when the initial restraining order was issued. They spoke about the heavy burden of knowing their patients could lose healthcare access at any moment. Washington Attorney General Nick Brown didn't mince words, calling out what he saw as a clear disregard for the Constitution. Meanwhile, Trump's legal team defended the order as protecting children from what they termed dangerous and unproven treatments, though medical consensus strongly disagrees with this characterization. Judge King's ruling wasn't just about healthcare, it was about preserving the fundamental structure of American democracy. She emphasized that this wasn't about policy goals, but about maintaining the checks and balances that our founding fathers considered essential to liberty. But this story isn't over. The Trump administration shows no signs of backing down, and this battle could eventually make its way to the Supreme Court. What we're witnessing is more than a legal dispute. It's a defining moment in how America treats its transgender youth and respects constitutional boundaries. This case reminds us that the fight for civil rights often happens in courtrooms as much as in the streets. As similar cases pop up across the country, from Maryland to California, each ruling shapes the landscape of healthcare access and civil rights in America. The implications stretch far beyond these 4 states. This ruling sets a precedent that could influence similar cases nationwide, potentially affecting millions of Americans' access to healthcare. It's a powerful reminder that local actions can have national consequences, and that the Constitution's protections extend to all Americans, regardless of their identity.